diversity, the WRC is the sport for you. So far this season, the action has passed from the icy tarmac roads of Monte Carlo to the deep snow and sub-zero temperatures of the Swedish forests. And now we've arrived in the Americas for the riot of speed and colour that is the Rally Guanajuato, Mexico. Mexico marks a return to gravel, and Sebastian Loeb has always been at home on these stages. The Frenchman is looking for his 6th successive victory here and will want to make up for a disappointing performance in Sweden.
I won a few times here, so it's a rally I always enjoyed, and so we'll try to do our best. First thing it will be to try to do a good time in the qualifying stage, and for the rest we will see.
This is also the first competitive outing on gravel for new Citroën driver Mikko Hirvonen. The Finn has always been quick in the Mexican mountains. Can he take his debut win for the Citroën team here? But we're in Mexico, so it would be apt if the victory went to a Ford Fiesta. Jari-Matti Latvala, fresh from his victory in Sweden, is full of confidence.
Okay, now we're first time on the gravel. It is a very difficult rally coming up. There are a lot of new stages, and it's been a challenging recce.
Don't discount Petter Solberg, though. The Ford #2 driver will be looking to prove his pace this weekend and chase a victory in the Fiesta. And what a party that would be. And talking of the party atmosphere for which this event is famous, Mexico sees the return to the WRC to the hoonigan Ken Block. His Ford Fiesta shouts attitude.
I've had a bit of bad luck the last couple of years here, so I just want to have a good, clean run. Stoked to be here. I love these roads. The fans here are amazing, so I'm looking forward to a good weekend.
And for the first time, Ken's enlisted the help of a teammate, and that's a man with lots of WRC experience, Australia's Chris Atkinson.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's been a few years, but it's great to be back. Yeah, we've had good results and good speed here before, but 3 years out of the main game hurts you a little bit. The stages are new as well, and it's going to be tricky, new car, but enough excuses, and I'll just try and get on with it and bed my way in, and hopefully by day 2 we're setting some good times.
And this is where it's all happening. Rally Mexico takes place in the Guanajuato province with its base in the city of León. From here, the cars will head out into the Sierra de Lobos mountains to tackle 24 stages that total over 400 kilometres. And this is how the WRC, powered by Nokia, stacks up going into round 3. Helped by his win in Monte Carlo, Loeb's on top on 39 points, followed by Hirvonen on 32, Petter Solberg on 29, and Rally Sweden winner Jari-Matti Latvala on 26 points. In the manufacturer's standings, Citroën topped the pile with a 10-point lead over Ford. The all-new qualifying procedure made its debut in Sweden and proved to be a great success. The drivers are timed through the shakedown stage, and the fastest through gets to choose where he starts on the road going into day 1. Ken Block was pushing hard and was lucky to get away with this one.
7.
The idea behind the new format means the championship frontrunners lose the disadvantage of starting first on the road and sweeping away the loose gravel. Here in Mexico, road position is key, and it was Norway's Petter Solberg who was the fastest through and was the first driver to choose his start position for day 1. Petter, unsurprisingly, selecting 14th on the road. Before they hit the dusty gravel roads on day 1, the drivers headed for the DC Shoes Guanajuato street stage, where the Mexican fans lined the streets for one of the biggest parties of the year and perhaps the most spectacular opening ceremony on the calendar. The fiesta in this incredible town really got going when American star Ken Block arrived at the start ramp. The Monster World Rally Team driver receiving a huge welcome. This time last year, he couldn't even make the start of stage 1 with an engine problem grounding him before he could get started. No such problems this year as the Fiesta blasted into the tunnels. There was an early scare for Block, though, with a heavy collision in the bowels of Guanajuato. His light pod flailing. There was serious damage to the front left corner of the car.
Didn't realize how slippery it was going to be once we got in the tunnel, and it just was a lot looser, just no grip, so hit with the front. Wasn't really that bad, but not the way I want to start today. It's been a rough day for me today.
Another frustrating start in Mexico for Block then, and Sweden winner Jari-Matti Latvala would soon take his turn into the floodlit tunnels. An incredible spectacle, unlike anything else in the championship. Jari-Matti had a big moment too, but unlike Block, that slide didn't result in an impact. The quickest man through the streets of this only stage run through a UNESCO World Heritage Site, though, was Petter Solberg. Following on from his success in the qualifying stage, it had been a terrific start to the event for the last man to beat Loeb here back in 2005. His power slide around the roundabout, reminding everyone why Petter's nickname is Hollywood. With the gravel stages due to start the following morning, the opening day is comprised of 4 mountain stages repeated once, including 2 brand new tests. 3 spectator-friendly stages finish off the day with a grueling 147 kilometres of competitive action in total. And this is how the start list looks for those stages. Armindo Araujo leads the pack away. He's the road sweeper this morning. Ken Block and Chris Atkinson go 4th and 5th. But the faster drivers through qualifying have chosen to start at the bottom of the running order. Jari-Matti Latvala goes 11th, followed by the Citroens of Loeb and Hirvonen, with Petter Solberg winning qualifying and opting to go last of the WRC runners in 14th. So to the rally proper in the barren hills around Leon, and with a new look to the opening day's route, El Cubilete returns, but is running the opposite direction, so an interesting challenge ahead for the stars of the WRC. As we just heard, it's Armindo Araujo first to tackle the 22 kilometres of stage 2. The Mini John Cooper Works is away, and just listen to the distinctive roar of that twin exhaust machine. It's been a difficult start for the Team Portugal driver. Power steering issues yesterday, and now a turbo problem delaying him further. Back on the start line, Ken Block, and that collision in the Guanajuato tunnel has indeed caused further problems. The repairs needed saw him leave service 2 minutes late. That's another 20 seconds in penalties lost. An inauspicious start for the American then, but he does make it through El Cubilete.
A little bit of extra time getting the car ready this morning from hitting the curb last night, and on the way here, suddenly now I'm stuck in first, can't get into neutral. So yeah, it's been a rough morning already, but stage felt okay, so I'm ready just to move on.
You can get a real sense of the mountainous terrain here as we join Jari-Matti Latvala. This is one of the highest altitude stages in the World Championship, so Latvala will really feel the lack of power here. The car's running anything up to 20% down on their usual output. Next up, the first of the works, Citroens, the 7-time world champion and 5-time Mexico winner, Sebastian Loeb. It is a daunting record for his rivals to face, but for some reason, these dusty gravel roads of Mexico have always suited the Frenchman. And running 12th on the road, you can see the line of cleared gravel ahead. Incredible views from our eye in the sky here. Loeb's teammate Hirvonen is also on his way into this challenging stretch of road. Mikko flinging the DS3 from corner to corner. Their driving style all about carrying as much speed as possible through each bend and braking point to counter the lack of power. It's Latvala who's set the benchmark at the moment, but Loeb is fast approaching the flying finish. He's not going to get anywhere near Jari's time here. Oh, a strangely subdued start for the world champion in Mexico. So Loeb slightly off the pace early on. His teammate Hirvonen has got the hammer down back in the stage as he seeks to beat his compatriot Latvala's time. And this is looking much more promising for Mikko. Yep, he's quicker. It's by the smallest of margins, but that's enough to keep Jari behind. So to our rally leader then, Petter Solberg's always been strong in the mountains of the Sierra de Lobos. Can the Norwegian finally end that 6-year winless run? Oh, but the four-band was really wide there. And I hate to say it, look at the rear left there. His run up front could already be in jeopardy. He's picked up a puncture and a spin now too. Pushing too hard perhaps on that flat tyre, but rapidly hemorrhaging time. By the end of stage 2, he's lost almost a minute. The lead is long gone.
Okay, so we had the spin also with, I tried to push with the puncture, so I had the spin. But,
With Solberg dropping back, it's Mikko Hirvonen who's taken over the top spot as we move straight onto the brand new Las Minas test. It's been a really impressive start to the event for Thierry Neuville on his Mexico debut. Despite his supposed preference for tarmac events, the Belgian's strong pace continues. He's running in a terrific 4th place. Up at the sharp end, meanwhile, it's early days, but there is already an intriguing battle developing between Latvala and the two work Citroens. His teammate dropping back, Jari-Matti is the leading Ford man. His ferocious pace has continued into Las Minas. Loeb may not have been beaten on these roads since 2005, but for some reason he's not quite been on the pace so far today. It is a tricky new route here in Las Minas. Sebastian having to work really hard over these bumps and crests, but again he can't quite match the time set by Latvala, despite running behind him on the road and having a supposedly clearer line. A huge power slide from Mikko Hirvonen to make it through that hairpin. He's never won in Mexico before, but he did finish second here last year. The Finn knows he has it in him to end Loeb's 5-year unbeaten run, though, and as he bears down on the finish boards in stage 3, I think he could lose the lead. 2.2 seconds slower than Latvala, and we have a third new leader in the space of 3 stages. Hirvonen slips down to second. A competitive start in Mexico then, just 6.7 seconds separate the top 3, with Latvala leading by just 1.2. Neuville's terrific start sees him lie 4th ahead of Mads Osberg. The battle of former teammates Hirvonen and Latvala is raging again. Join us again in a few minutes, where temperatures are raised another notch in the scorching Mexican wilderness. Welcome back to the WRC powered by Nokia, where the Rally Guanajuato, Mexico is well underway under the sweltering sun in this vibrant North American country. Next up for the world's greatest rally drivers is another pair of stages that include the highest altitude test of the entire calendar in the incredible Ortega. Due to other commitments, Ken Block is only taking on a few WRC events in 2012, but he does have more experience in Mexico than any other World Championship rally. It's been a frustrating start so far for Ken. Oh, and really wide there, a heavy collision on the left side. And Alex clearly feeling the effects. They've also picked up a puncture after that impact. Former Subaru Works driver Chris Atkinson has joined Ken in the Monster World Rally team for the first time. It's the Australian's first WRC event for 3 years, so he's taking his time to get back up to speed. Well, there's Block's car at the side of the road. They've obviously elected to stop and change the wheel. Monaco 2 picking up a puncture in here, though. It's not been a good morning for the Monster boys. So that's 2 Fiestas in trouble, but Mads Osberg in the adapted team-entered Ford has been steadily building on his pace throughout the morning. In stage 5, the multiple Norwegian national champion manages to overhaul the flying Thierry Neuville. Back to that exciting fight at the front now, though, and we're with rally leader Jari-Matti Latvala here in stage 5, having already pulled further away from Mikko Hirvonen in the previous test. Oh, but there was contact with a big rock there. And I think something has given on his Fiesta. I suspect it's a puncture, maybe broken suspension. And with the Citroen Total drivers hot on his heels, this is incredibly frustrating. He's had to drive on the damaged suspension for around 5 Ks. A minute and a half have been lost, and he's plummeted down the leaderboard.
Jari, you can see some damage on the front here. What exactly happened?
Really fast section to the downhill, and you came basically flat, and then you have a braking, and then you have like flat minus over the crest. I had marked like stone inside, but maybe from the wall had come a very big rock. There was a massive rock on the absolutely on the line, and I had so much speed that I couldn't avoid it. Otherwise I would have been going off the road. So unfortunately I hit it, and I got the puncture, and I damaged something on the front suspension.
So with both Works Fords in trouble this morning, it's left the Citroen boys out front on their own, and after a somewhat underwhelming start by his high standards, Sebastian Loeb has begun to build on his speed. Incredibly narrow here, but the world champion has claimed his first stage win in the new Los Mexicanos stage, and has again set a relentless pace in the spectacular high-altitude Ortega, up to a peak of 2,700 metres above sea level. Citroën have spent years fine-tuning the DS3's engine to fight the effects of these oxygen-starved hills. And like Loeb, Hirvonen has looked in impressive form in here. With Latvala dropping back, Mikko is in line to take over the top spot, but only if he can keep his teammate behind. You can see Loeb's time at the bottom of the screen, and there's not going to be much in this. Well, Hirvonen is slower in the stage, but he stays ahead by just 0.6 of a second. Up ahead in the road section, though, Latvala and co-driver Mika Antila are hard at work making temporary repairs to that suspension. Teammate Petter Solberg stopping to check on their progress. And they managed to fix the track control arm by improvising with 2 ratchet extension bars from their toolkit to ensure they can get back to the service park safely. It's an impressive job from the Finns, and they're soon on their way to Leon. Latvala's delay has seen him fall all the way down to 8th, just ahead of his teammate Solberg, who's fought his way back up to 9th. Osberg is the leading forward in 3rd, and it's a Citroën 1-2 at the front, Hirvonen just having the edge on Loeb. So, blue skies above for the Citroën duo as they arrive back at the service park.
It's been a good morning, very difficult morning, especially the last stage. It was extremely difficult, very technical and very slippy as well. So it hasn't been easy morning, but a good start anyway.
Quite slow start. Don't have really the reason. It was really special. It was some concrete on the road, a bit different from the gravel stages, and maybe I didn't have the right rhythm in that.
All smiles at Citroën, but there's a busy service ahead for Ford in the Leon Polo Forum, with both Latvala and Solberg's cars looking rather battle-scarred after this first morning.
Jari hit a big rock which broke the front suspension. He believes it wasn't there on the recce, so don't really know how it's happened. But yeah, we've come into here, I don't know, in 8th and 9th position. So hopefully they can pull back to, I think, they can quite easily get back to 3rd or 4th, but long way to go.
With the temperatures now nearing 30 degrees Celsius, the crews are soon leaving the sanctuary of service. Next up, the second pass through El Cubalete, and with the roads all swept clear of the top layer of loose gravel, there's an open playing field for all. And what a rally it's been so far for young Belgian Thierry Neuville, back up to 4th following Latvala's problems. It's been an astonishing drive. But unfortunately, stage 6 would be his last after ripping a wheel off. It's the end of his run on day 1. Neuville's demise is good news for Oyt Tanak in the M Sport World Rally Team Ford Fiesta. The Estonian has had a steady drive on his second visit to Rally Guanajuato, Mexico, and he replaces Neuville in 4th. It was a frustrating end to the morning loop for former leader Latvala with that broken suspension. The fight back for Jari begins from 8th, over a minute and a half off the lead. And just look at this. It is an incredibly aggressive start to his recovery in this second pass through El Cubalete. Latvala is absolutely flying. Despite Latvala's pace for the time being, second place Sebastian Loeb's main focus is on the split times of rally leader Mikko Hirvonen. Unbeaten on these stunning Mexican roads since 2005, Loeb will not want to see his record broken by his new teammate. The world champion is on the attack. Well, and there is the stranded car of fellow Citroën driver Neuville at the side of the road. Loeb safely through, though, and Mikko Hirvonen is becoming embroiled in a real dogfight with his new stablemate. He's still learning the limits of this DS3, of course, and starting the stage just 0.6 of a second ahead. He may struggle to hold on to the lead here. Yeah, that's not enough. 2.8 seconds slower. Loeb has become our 4th different leader. It's that stunning time from Latvala that catches Mikko's eye, though.
That's a big fight between the pair. Loeb takes the lead.
Yeah, he takes the lead, but Jari-Matti makes incredible time.
But you always knew that with him.
Yeah, but he's fast and it's still a long way to go, so I need to speed it up a little bit, but no problems and anyway, so everything okay.
Mikko slips to 2nd then. His deficit to Loeb stands at 2.2 seconds after stage 6, while Mads Osberg is still the leading Ford, but he's a long way adrift in 3rd. Latvala has already made up 2 places to 6th. Once again, the Citroëns are dominating in Mexico, but Latvala is charging. The Finn is not giving up. Join us after the break for all the action on the rest of the afternoon stages. Welcome back to stunning central Mexico, where Sebastian Loeb holds a narrow lead in round 3 of the WRC powered by Nokia. With stage 9 cancelled for security reasons, there are just 2 more gravel stages to run on this opening leg. Multiple Middle Eastern champion Nasser Al-Attiyah is finally making his WRC bow in 2012, and on his second outing in the DS3, the Qatari driver is already running in the points in 9th.
Right 240. Left 4 minus, stay in the big drop. 4 minus and big drop. 15. Right 1 stay.
After a 3-year absence, meanwhile, Chris Atkinson has begun to find his feet on his return. Coming from an era of world rally cars with fully active differentials and sophisticated electronics, the Australian has quickly discovered the latest brand of the WRC requires a much more aggressive driving style.
60, braking very late, the 3 right long.
Chris, quickest time so far. I know you're going to say the same as all the boys are coming behind, but you're getting more and more into this car now.
Yeah, I think we made a step on that stage. I've been too neat on the entry and then too wide on the exits, and I tried to throw a bit more. We're going to have to change the setup a bit, but not every second corner I got right then. So we're heading in the right direction.
Evgeny Novikov was a revelation on his Mexican outing last year until engine failure cruelly ended his run, and again in 2012 the 21-year-old is displaying his newfound control and maturity. He's running in 5th coming into stage 7.
Open, left 1 hard. Left 1 hard.
The Russian has a couple of drivers behind though who are determined to move up. Former leader Petter Solberg has been fighting back from his early puncture all day, and despite another deflating tyre in stage 7, he makes it past Novikov on the leaderboard.
6 right tight, 4 plus tight.
The star of the afternoon, though, has undoubtedly been Solberg's Ford teammate Jari-Matti Latvala. On a recovery operation of his own after a broken suspension earlier in the day, he's been in irresistible form.
Cox, good. Mä sen 2. 30 oikein, 3, heti vasen 4, pikku soppu. 20 jarru, vasen 6.
Quickest again in stage 7, he moves up 2 places to 4.
Heti vasen 4.
30 seconds now behind a podium. You wouldn't have thought that about 3 hours ago.
No, absolutely not. Of course, we have to try to attack. We want to climb back to podium after the disappointment with hitting the rock. So, but it's been going well now in the afternoon. A really good feeling.
Holding the final podium place at the moment, though, is Mads Østberg. It has been a strong day for the Norwegian, but with Latvala on this sort of form, he may find holding on to 3rd a tough proposition on day 2. Way out in front, though, are the 2 Work Citroën drivers. Sebastian Loeb and Mikko Hirvonen have had plenty of battles over the years, but not as teammates. The world champion has the edge at the moment, but we have an intriguing 2 days ahead here in Mexico. With a year's less experience driving the DS3 than Loeb, Mikko is clearly at a disadvantage to his fellow Citroën driver. Despite that, there is still very little to choose between the 2 men. Hirvonen is slower in both the final mountain stages, but only drops a couple of seconds to his teammate. With the 2 passes through the evening's super special remaining, there are just 5.3 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Østberg ends his terrific day in 3rd, but the Works 4 drivers will be on a mission tomorrow. Latvala and Solberg are in 4th and 6th. It's the Citroën boys who are the men to catch, though, and they receive a warm welcome from the Mexican fans back at the Leon Service Park.
It has been a good day. We tried to push hard all the day, and at midday we were quite equal with Mikko. Now we have 5 seconds lead, but it's still very close. We had to push very hard, to take second by second, so, but at the moment it's okay.
It feels really good. I'm really happy how things are going, and you know, first rally with Citroën now on gravel, so I'm very happy. It's only 5 seconds to Sebastian, so you know, he's just showing me how it's done with DS3, taking second
1 second in each stage, so giving me a lesson a little bit, but I'm very happy how things are going.
Hirvonen and Loeb are locked in their first serious fight as teammates, and Latvala is building up an inspired fight back. Lots to keep us entertained on the second day of Rally Guanajuato, Mexico. Make sure you join us again tomorrow for the Day 2 highlights. For now, though, from Leon, it's goodbye.
The rally started well, but we got the problem on stage 5 when there was a massive rock on the road, and I don't know where it had come from, but obviously I hit that and I broke the suspension and had to drive very slowly, so we lost 1.5 minutes. So it was disappointing, but we fight back, and the feeling is good with the car.
The first 2 this morning, that was you know, maybe pushing a little bit too hard, and this afternoon I hit the rock and then side cut. So. Well, everything else is okay.
You know, it's still have a fight with Sebastian, and Jari-Matti is pushing really hard in the behind, and it's still a long way to go, so we need to keep our eyes open and see what's going to happen.
Mon objectif, c'est de garder la première parce qu'il n'y en a qu'une. Hein. Donc après, le reste, je sais pas. Je pense que pour l'instant, on est 2 à la vouloir et puis on verra. Pour l'instant, voilà, à midi, j'étais quelques dixièmes derrière. Là, on a pris 5 secondes d'avance. Oui, c'est sûr que si on peut finir premier, deuxième, c'est super. Mais faut y arriver.
But his lead was long gone. So with Solberg and Latvala's poor fortune, day 1 had been a disaster for the work sport, but not so for private entry Mads Osberg. The Norwegian capitalised on the mistakes of others to find himself closing out the day in 3rd. But he was a long way adrift of the 2 works. Hirvonen made a storming start early on to take the lead after Latvala's demise. But a titanic battle was developing between himself and teammate Sebastian Loeb. An uncharacteristically slow start for the world champion meant he spent the afternoon fighting back, outpacing his teammate and eventually moving into the lead. The pressure was getting to Hirvonen, and a spin in the final super special in torrential rain was proof he couldn't quite keep up with his all-conquering teammate. As day 1 came to an end, normal service had resumed, and world champion Sebastian Loeb was the man at the top of the leaderboard. Loeb's advantage coming into day 2, 11.2 seconds ahead of teammate Kievan. Mats Osberg in third, but he will have his work cut out to keep Latvala at bay, the Finn just 16 seconds behind. After an action-packed day 1, day 2 here in Mexico heralds even more competitive mileage, 184 kilometres in total, spread across 7 stages. And this is how they line up going into day 2. Paulo Nobre will lead the WRC Cruiserweight, like Thierry Neuville, restarting under the Rally 2 rules. They're followed by Ken Block. But again, the top runners all start further back. Petter Solberg goes 10th, followed by Latvala. Then comes Mats Osberg, Mikko Hirvonen, and rally leader Sebastian Loeb goes 14th. First up then on this busy second day is one of Mexico's classic stages, the challenging 30 kilometres of Iberia. The fans are already out in force despite the early start. And Ken Block is one of the first into action. After that eventful return to WRC action yesterday, he'll certainly hope for improvement today. The American starts in 15th position.
Tightens and tightens again. He took 50.
Oh, but a wild moment again for Ken. He's recovered it well, but another scary moment. You can see the damage to the rear of the Fiesta there, but his aggressive charge has been effective. Block moves up 3 places to 12th. Petter Solberg getting good air. He staged an admirable fight back following his frustrating day 1 puncher. The 2005 Mexico winner is already up to 5th. Getting a bit crossed up through here. A lot of loose gravel out there in Iberia, and despite running 10th on the road, he's still feeling the effects. Immediately behind Petter on the road is his teammate Latvala. The Finn displayed incredible pace yesterday afternoon as he staged his own recovery operation after broken suspension. His pace has even provoked concern at the Citroën camp. First though, Gary's target is the 3rd place of Mats Osberg, and again Latvala is on an absolute flyer. Slightly damp surface here after heavy rain overnight.
Loeb has been generally very fast on this stage. I've never been so competitive on this stage against him. So if I can be quicker on this stage, then it's really good. So it was a bit slippy some places after the rain. It was some tricky corners there.
Latvala again in scintillating form then, and the early split times have not looked good for Osberg. Good commitment though over this infamous crest in Iberia. This low sun in the early morning is causing real problems for the Norwegian though. Nasty bang under the car, but thankfully no damage done. But this lack of visibility is causing problems. A full half a minute slower than Latvala, he slips to 4th. All change in the fight for 3rd then. Up front, Mikko Hirvonen will hope to respond after dropping that time in the Super Special last night. Here we go then. The battle for victory between the 2 Citroëns is back underway. 30 kilometres lie ahead in here, and Mikko starts today 11.2 seconds off the lead. Loeb, remember, has won this challenging event 5 times in a row, so the world champion is going to take some catching. Running behind Mikko on the road, Sebastian and co-driver Daniel Elena are fast approaching the split time at 16.4 kilometres. It's roughly halfway through. And look at this, they're already 3 seconds up. It's looking like a strong start to the day for Loeb. Hirvonen keeping pedal to the metal as he charges to the flying finish. He's more than 5 seconds slower than that stunning effort from Latvala, but will it be enough to challenge Loeb?
Didn't have a good rhythm in the beginning, and I was more behind, so I was catching a bit in the end, so that's okay. Let's see now how the long stage goes. I think our setup is a bit more for that stage, so let's see if it works over there.
Mikko not too confident with his time then. He was 3 seconds down midway through the stage, remember. We're about to find out if the rally leader can build on his advantage. Just the last few corners to come now. Keep an eye on the clock. I'm not sure Loeb will beat him here. Oh, well, that is strange. 2.5 seconds slower. Sebastian clearly losing a bit of momentum in the last couple of sectors of Iberia.
I lost a lot on the end. At the start I was quite good. I was 3 seconds ahead of Mikko, and I lost 6 seconds after that, so I don't know why.
The fight at the front closes up again then, just 8.7 seconds between Loeb and Hirvonen now, while Latvala's up to third. No respite for the crews this morning. Next up, the longest stage of the day in Otartes. Volkswagen driver Sebastian Ogier is in a development year with his new team in a Super 2000 Skoda Fabia, and he's quickly discovered how much a normally aspirated car suffers at high altitude. A small spin there for the Frenchman in stage 14. Ogier remains in 11th place for now. Ford have high hopes for young Estonian Ott Tänak, and the M Sport-backed driver has put in another impressive controlled shift so far in Mexico. Although a spin and a stall in here don't help his progress, he remains in 5th. The man to watch again this morning is Jari-Matti Latvala. Oh, and a slight nudge at the back of the car in that sweeping right-hander. He is pushing, using every inch of the road here. He's got 42 kilometres to make an impact on the Citroen's advantage, and Jari is literally throwing his Ford through Otartes. Mads Osberg had a tough run through the opening stage this morning. Like all the crews, the Norwegian is finding this grueling new look to Rally Guanajuato, Mexico, a difficult proposition. Small moment there for Mads. As you can see, there are some really tight technical sections in here, as well as the fast stuff. In the fight at the front, meanwhile, Mikko Hirvonen claimed the first blow this morning. He's got the gap to teammate Loeb down to within 10 seconds, and he was confident his setup would be well suited to this stage, remember. He'll be keeping one eye on the split times of his compatriot Latvala too. Incredibly, through the hundreds of corners of this 42-kilometre test, Mikko is just 4 seconds slower than his former teammate.
Took me maybe 15 kilometers before I learned to drive this car on very twisty road, so start of the stage was really terrible, but then it started to go a bit better, so it was okay, but Sebastian's coming very fast from behind, so he's giving me a lesson again.
And here comes Hirvonen's teacher now, back in the stage. Citroën Total's #1 is putting in a stunning performance in stage 14. Loeb is excelling in the cleared lines of grip in this hard gravel surface. Not only is he quicker than his teammate through every split time so far, he's also beating Latvala. An incredible display of concentration to keep up this searing pace for 42 kilometres. And that's a stage win for Seb. It's extended his lead out to more than 18 seconds, while Latvala's closed slightly on Hirvonen in second. Osberg's strong run keeps his compatriot Solberg at arm's length. Join us after the break for more from the third round of the WRC, powered by Nokia. We'll have all the reaction from this morning's stages back at the service park. And of course, all the drama from this afternoon's stages. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the WRC, powered by Nokia. The drivers have now arrived back at the Polo Forum in the town of Leon for the first of today's services. The Ford team hard at work repairing any damage to the cars from this morning's rough mountain stages. It's been a good day so far for Jari-Matti Latvala, winning the opening test. Keeping the pressure on the Citroens is key now.
I've been pushing it as much as I can, so I managed to take 7 seconds out, or almost 8 seconds out from Loeb on the first one. The second stage, he was very strong. He took 5 seconds out of me, so I think at the end I won something like 2 seconds this morning loop. So which means I can't really catch him by driving, but I need to try to pressurize him.
It's been a steady morning for the rally leader. 5-time Mexico winner Loeb looking very much in control again.
It's been a good morning. We are able to increase a bit our lead on Mikko and to keep the same with Jari-Matti, so it was a good start.
Are you on the limit? Have you got more pace?
No, I was on the limit, especially in the second stage. Where I tried to push hard already until the end of the stage.
With the cars refitted and the drivers refreshed, the crews are soon on their way back out to the famous Iberia stage as this packed second day resumes. Joining Ott Tänak here at the start line, the M Sport World Rally team man is running 5th. And with Solberg more than half a minute ahead, the young Estonian is focused on building up his own experience. It's not a good stage for Ott though. A puncture costs more than a minute and he's now just seconds ahead of Novikov. Petter Solberg was complete brake issues in the first loop this morning, but with the problem resolved in service, along with a setup tweak, the Norwegian is finally able to attack.
Straight long, tightens half long, tightens a little, keep into regress 30.
This is a maximum attack for the 2003 world champion, and Petter charges past his compatriot Mats Osberg on the leaderboard. It's Solberg who's setting the benchmark in this second pass through Iberia. Then his teammate Latvala has been consistently quick all weekend and is still pushing hard to keep the pressure on the Citroens. Oh, but that was another heavy impact beneath the car. And you can hear there's immediately something wrong. It's a puncture and has cost him almost 50 seconds.
Gary, the sigh of frustration there. That's basically game over for the leader anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, now we can forget the fight for the first two positions. That's gone now. I have tried, and that is the conclusion now. What happened? So now we need to just try to concentrate to get the third place.
Well, it had been an inspired performance from Latvala, but that second delay has surely now ended his hopes of catching the Citroens. Mikko Hirvonen can breathe a sigh of relief then, but his own hopes of challenging for a first Mexico victory are rapidly dwindling as well. I think Mikko clipped something there too. He's got away with it, but that was a lucky escape for the man in second.
I think we have a slow puncture on the front right, because I hit the rock pretty hard 7 or 8 kilometers before the finish, and its car is not turning so well in the left-hand corner, so I think we had a bit of a damage in the tyre as well.
So things are falling into place nicely for the man who's won for the last 5 times in Mexico. Despite his rival's problems, Sebastian Loeb, though, is certainly leading the way on merit. Let's follow the world champion through this technical stretch of road.
50 mètres. Le encore de Max tape. Sur droite à fond. 100 mètres.
Inch perfect as ever, and it's a second consecutive stage win for the rally leader.
Fastest time again, so now we have more than 20 seconds lead. It's not bad. See, Jari-Matti is losing time. Puncture. But he's done a lot of long way with the puncture, because
from 4 kilometers
on the front,
yeah,
and he lost only the 50 seconds. Good tyre.
Well, the Michelin gravel tyres proving incredibly strong then, and with temperatures now a lot warmer, the second pass through the Marathon Otate stage is going to be incredibly tough on them again. One man who knows a thing or two about driving in such conditions is Nasser Al-Attiyah. The Qatari driver has won the Middle East Championship an incredible 7 times, and he's also a former winner of the epic Dakar cross-country event. So conserving his Michelins through this technical stage isn't a problem for Nasser. He's running in 9th position. Just over 20 seconds ahead of Al-Attiyah on the leaderboard is Chris Atkinson. Driving for the Monster World Rally team for the first time, the Australian has taken a bit of time to get back up to speed after 3 years away from the sports top level. He's back alongside experienced co-driver Stefan Prevost.
7 left, 5 right, then 5 left long.
There seems to be a bit of a problem late in the stage though. Chris is losing a lot of time to Nasser in here.
13, 4 right.
Ahead of Atkinson in 7th is Evgeny Novikov. The young Russian has controlled his pace well on the challenging Mexican roads, but with fellow Ford driver Oyt Tanak just a few seconds ahead, this intriguing battle between two of the sport's young stars will be worth keeping an eye on this afternoon. There's another veteran co-pilot alongside Evgeny in the shape of Denis Girardet. Jari-Matti Latvala, meanwhile, has now set about recovering from setback number 2. You can still see the damage from that puncture on the front left of the car. It saw the 26-year-old drop back to 4th, but with his teammate Petter Solberg just a few seconds ahead, Latvala makes short work of getting back into the podium positions. It's another stunning time from the Finn. Back in the stage, the rally leader's hold on the top spot is looking increasingly secure. Seb getting plenty of support in Mexico, and having already pulled out an advantage of almost 22 seconds over his teammates, this rally is now Loeb's to lose. With a lot of large rocks around the finish here, the Frenchman is even free to back off and make it safely through. But what's going on here? Atkinson stopped after the stage, and it looks like he's going no further.
We're coming down here, 6th gear, brake before that crest like last time, and the brake pedal just went to the floor. I tried to pump it, it went to the floor 3 times in a row, and pulled the handbrake, had no handbrake, so just couldn't stop.
You obviously knew the brakes were going, or did they just fail?
They were going a bit, but they were coming up within like half a pump, and I had something there all the time until that one braking then.
With Atkinson out, Armindo Arrojo moves up to 9th in the Mini, while Sebastien Ogier in the S2000 Skoda now fills the final point-scoring slot. Further up, Latval's back to 3rd, and Loeb continues to pull away. It's all happening here in Mexico, and still to come we have the fan favourite El Brinco jump in the Common Here stage. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to the Rally Guanajuato, Mexico in Leon, where we have this event's iconic stretch of road coming up next. The Common Here test features the El Brinco jump, which over the years has become a mecca for the Mexican fans. And the party atmosphere is building as they wait for the stars of the WRC. And they don't have to wait long because Petter Solberg is fast approaching. No sign of lifting off there from the Ford man. The fans on the hill will have appreciated that. It's still been very slippery for Petter on this first pass through Common Here, but he is the quickest through so far. Behind Solberg in the stage, once again his teammate Jari-Matti Latvala is proving that were it not for his 2 major problems, he would certainly have been fighting for the win. The Finn is quickest again in stage 17 and pulls further away from Petter. There's little Ford's number 1 can do about his deficit to the Citroens at the front though. Mikko Hirvonen is fast approaching the fans at El Brinco. Well, controlled lead from the Citroen man, with his teammate looking untouchable at the moment. This is a risk-free drive now from Mikko. Once again in Mexico, Loeb's incredible car control has proved a deciding factor on these challenging gravel roads. Well, he needed to take evasive action there. That was a huge rock lying in the racing line. Again, the world champion's incredible reactions, preventing disaster, but that must have rattled him.
Sebastian, a little time lost there to the Fords, but I think it's a situation now of hold position and consolidate what you have.
Yeah, exactly, and so I didn't want to take big risks. Even in this case, it's tricky because we had again some big stones put it on the road, and I try to avoid one, but if I hit it, I will break everything, so that's a bit stupid situation.
After another pass through the Super Special, Loeb's lead is up to 36.5 seconds. Once again, the drivers return to the Common Here test, and the fans haven't moved a muscle down at the El Brinco jump as they await the arrival of Ken Block. It's been a long day for the American.
Big jump. Easy, Ken, easy.
Alex sounding a bit concerned there. And for good reason, that was a huge jump. Total commitment from Block. Evgeny Novikov has once again proved his pace in Mexico, but there's a problem with his suspension. Frustratingly, the Russian fails to make it through the day's final stage. Joined Mikko Hirvonen now, and despite making contact with parts of Novikov's deteriorating Fiesta in here, the Finn manages to make it through stage 20 with his 2nd place intact.
Yeah, rocks and Novikov's rear suspension was in the middle of the road. I hit that one really hard with my rear corner, so I'm really surprised that we didn't have any damage or any puncture or anything over there, but we were very lucky with that.
Well, the last WRC runner of the day is fast approaching the El Brinco jump. Sebastien Loeb now well on the course to claim his 6th consecutive victory here in Mexico. The world champion flies safely to the end of day 2 at the top of the leaderboard. His advantage over teammate Hievinen, 36.2 seconds. A difficult day once again for Jari-Matti Latvala, nearly 2 minutes off Loeb's lead. Petter Solberg remains in 4th from Mads Osberg, and Oyt Tanak closing out the second day here in Mexico in an impressive 6th. The drivers have returned to the service park. Sebastian Loeb is our rally leader, and he looks as calm as ever, signing some autographs for his loyal fans.
Sebastian, it's been a long day, but things are looking very good for victory now.
Yes, at the moment it's in a good way. Situation couldn't be much better tonight, so I hope we can continue like that until the end. It's a very long stage tomorrow, so nothing is finished, but we'll try to do it well.
What do you think about that very long stage tomorrow? 53 kilometers, that's a bit of a monster.
Yeah, it's a very long one, but okay, it's the same as 2 stages of 25 finally. So just have to find the right rhythm and to be concentrated until the end.
It's been another frustrating day for Ford's Jari-Matti Latvala. The pace has been there, the luck has not.
Jari-Matti, you've been fighting hard today, but that puncture on stage 15 really was a big problem for you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because before that we still tried the pressurized Citroens, and we were over a minute behind, but still in the area that maybe the Citroens were not so comfortable position. But after that puncture, it went up over 2 minutes, and after that, basically they were able to back off, and they didn't need to risk so much anymore.
It's been a bruising second day here at Rally Guanajuato, Mexico, and it's far from over. Can Sebastian Loeb survive that epic 53-kilometer stage on the final leg to make it 6 in a row? Join us tomorrow for the conclusion of this fascinating rally. Until then, it's goodbye. Welcome to the third and final day of Rally Guanajuato, Mexico 2012. It's been an atrocious battle against the elements, mountainous roads full of rocks and ruts. Join us as we bring you all the action from the concluding 4 stages of this epic rally. Day 2 of Rally Mexico proved as bruising as ever, but for the fans this spectacle is an annual party. And they turned up in their thousands to support the drivers. Sebastian Loeb began the day as the rally leader, the world champion chasing his 6th consecutive victory here in the mountains of Mexico, and his performance over the morning stages proved why he has been so imperious here. Teammate Mikko Hievinen began the weekend outpacing his teammate, but as the rally progressed, Mikko has been able to hang on to Loeb. The Finn was pushing hard on day 2. and was lucky to get away with hitting this rock on stage 15. His Citroën DS3 and Michelin gravel tyres proving strong. Jari-Matti Latvala has been plagued with mechanical problems here in Mexico. The pace has undoubtedly been there all weekend in a vastly improved Fiesta RS WRC. But a layer of bedrock on the inside of this left-hander ripped Jari-Matti's tyre. The Finn lost 50 seconds.
Now we can forget the fight for the first two positions. That's gone now.
Following Latvala's woes, Ford number 2, Petter Solberg took advantage and briefly moved up into third place and the final podium position. It was a solid drive over the day for the 2003 world champion. He did eventually slip back behind Latvala, but holds a strong fourth place going into the final day. Petter's compatriot Mads Osberg has been as high as third this weekend, but the recovering Works Fords have dropped the Norwegian back to fifth. Still, Mads leads the privateer entries. If he can hang on to fifth today, it will be a fantastic result. While the front runners just about survived day 2, others were not so lucky. Monster team driver in Mexico, Chris Atkinson, had a spin early on stage 14.
6 left minus. Okay. 6 left minus, then 5 right very long.
But it was in stage 17 where his day came to an end. He went off the road after the flying finish due to brake failure. His Fiesta was going nowhere.
We're coming down here, 6th gear, brake before that crest like time, and the brake pedal just went to the floor. I tried to pump it, went to the floor 3 times in a row and pulled the handbrake, had no handbrake, so just couldn't stop.
Day 2 also included the famous Comenhia stage, which contains perhaps the most recognisable jump in the WRC, El Brinco. The fans gathered in their thousands to watch the cars leap through the air, and unsurprisingly, Ken Block delivered the entertainment.
Really enjoyable. A lot of people out there. Big jump. A lot of fun.
But Mikko Hirvonen was also gunning for the award of longest leap, and the second run over El Brinco, the Finn kept the pedal to metal, and his Citroën DS3 flew to the end of day 2. But up at the front, it was Sebastian Loeb who topped the leaderboard going into the final day. The world champion on course to make it 6 out of 6 Mexico wins. Loeb's lead coming into the final day, 36.2 seconds over his teammate Mikko Hirvonen. Jari-Matti Latvala lies third. Any slip up from the Citroën boys and he will be challenging for the top 2 positions. Solberg lies fourth with Mads Osberg in fifth. Day 3 in Mexico takes in 4 stages, making up a total of 75 competitive kilometres. But don't be fooled by the small numbers. The second stage of the day, Guanajuato, is one of the longest of the year at 54.3 kilometres. Belgium's Thierry Neuville leads the pack away, followed by Chris Atkinson, Evgeny Novikov and Ken Block. Look towards the bottom of the running order for the main contenders. Osberg goes 9th, followed by the Works Fords of Solberg and Latvala. Then come the Citroëns of Mikko Hirvonen and Sebastian Loeb. So straight down to the action, and the day begins with a short super special sprint on the outskirts of Leon. Thierry Neuville and Chris Atkinson are at the start line and blast into the stage. These head-to-head stages really are a fan favourite. Running first on the road could actually be an advantage here. The mud and broken asphalt will gradually deteriorate as more and more cars run through, making driving conditions worse as the stage progresses. Chris Atkinson returning under the Rally 2 rules, leaping through the air as he tries to outpace the Citroën DS3 of Neuville. But it is the Belgian who crosses the line first, and that marks his first WRC stage win. There will no doubt be a few nerves out there as we move on to the mammoth Guanajuato. The first few crews are already on their way into this daunting stage, and the fans are clearly loving every moment of it. This really is a special event for them. Maintaining concentration levels for 54 kilometres of racing at top speeds is a tough challenge. We've joined Evgeny Novikov. And he's all over the place at the moment.
You are not anymore on the road, huh?
Denis Juriday pointing out they're actually off the road. And now their air vent has been ripped off the roof.
Okay.
But they are back on the stage at least. But just look at the dust inside the car now. Evgeny driving blind at the moment. And he's off again. This time, it's a huge roll. Several full rotations before they come to a rest. A nearby spectator caught the incident. A terrifying moment for Novikov and Jurday. The young Russian does have a history of spectacular crashes. Recently, he looked to have ended that trend. He'll hope to put this incident behind him as quickly as possible. As expected, Guanajuato is providing a fearsome challenge with Ken Block now. He's up into the points. What a heavy collision at that left-hander. The Fiesta are up on two wheels briefly. Ken didn't seem to lose too much time with the initial impact, but it caused two punctures and cost several minutes getting them changed. The carnage has already begun up ahead. 30-odd kilometres way back on the start line is Jari-Matti Latvala. The leading Ford man is on his way. Jari is more than a minute behind the Citroens, but in such a long stage, he's perfectly positioned to take advantage should either of his rivals slip up. Mads Osberg is running in a somewhat lonely fourth position. His focus for the last day or so has been to maintain his rhythm and gain valuable kilometres of experience in the car. Well, but the Norwegian's lost a wheel there. He's obviously had a puncture and that tyre has completely disintegrated. Well, we expected drama in this stage, but this is getting a little crazy out there. Guanajuato continues to bite then. Petter Solberg has had his fair share of incidents this weekend with 4 punctures and brake problems, hampering his bid to claim a first win in 7 years. With little threat from behind, the Ford man is taking no risks as he seeks to defend his 4th position. Second place, Mikko Hirvonen is also into the stage. And despite his big advantage over Latvala, he may be a little concerned at some of the split times coming from his compatriot. Mikko is approaching the marker after 30 kilometres of Guanajuato. And he's on course to lose a lot of time to Jari here. Wow, 16 seconds down. That's just over halfway through this stage. So Latvala really going for it. Incredible speed here from the Finn. Jari's off too. With a podium finish all but secured. That was a big, big mistake from Ford's number 1. Drivers up and down the leaderboard, falling victim to the Mexican event's treacherous new challenge. Further back, Latvala's compatriot is fast approaching the scene, and there is Jari's car, thankfully upright at least, but he's not moving. The Epic Stage 22 is thankfully cleared for Hirvonen. The rally leader is the last man to make it through, and he too will probably pass Latvala, whose car is clearly heavily damaged. Well, there's Novikov's car on its roof, the Russian definitely going nowhere. But where is Latvala? There he is, up ahead. Loeb 2 passes Jari's battered Ford, but the Finn is obviously trying to limp through the stage. Making it to the finish line of Guanajuato will be a great relief to the world champion.
Okay, less than a second between you and Mikko in 54 Ks. That's pretty impressive.
We were just in the same rhythm to find to be confident. Jari-Matti should come soon. I just overtook him 3 kilometers ago.
Yeah, Latvala is indeed pushing on to the finish of stage 22, but he has plunged down the leaderboard, and that is a very broken Ford Fiesta.
Jari, end of stage 22, 54 Ks, but you've had bigger dramas than that. I can see what happened. How did it happen?
I have to say, Novikov was off the road, and I came to the place and I saw a car on its roof. I didn't know, I didn't have got message, so I didn't know he is off the road, and I got the panic that he's on the road, and I brake really hard, but then I hit the bank, and the bank clipped the car. We rolled on the road, so my mistake. It's a stupid mistake, but I just got the panic when I saw Novikov, and it just came like a big surprise for me. I just no warning or anything, so I was confused.
Latvala brought brutally down to earth after the euphoria of his Sweden victory. The Finn has dropped from 3rd to 7th place after losing more than 7 minutes. His teammate Petter Solberg has replaced him in the final podium spot. What a start to the final day here in Mexico. Still to come, we have the best action from the VW Power Stage. But can Jari-Matti Latvala even make it there after that roll? The action continues after this break. Welcome back to the final day of Rally Mexico, and it's all happening at the start of the Derramadero stage. Jari-Matti Latvala rolled in Guanajuatito, and it looks like the stewards are conducting an inspection of this Fiesta's roll cage. Jari clearly not happy with what's going on. I think this could be the end for the Finn.
Five guys were on the refueling zone, and they saw there was a little dent on one of the tubes on left hand side of the car, and as the regulation says that basically if you have damage in the roll cage, you are not allowed to carry on. Now it's in a situation that I really need to get stronger and get away from these problems. I can't be like an old Jari-Matti I used to be. It's not going to take me forward in my career anymore.
So, drama at the start of the stage then, but the fans are loving every minute of this incident-filled final day. One man already well into the only run through Derramadero is Armindo Araujo. He's been very consistent in the Mini all weekend. He's had his problems, but it's been a good solid effort from the Portuguese driver, picking up valuable experience, and with Latvala out, he's also up to 7th position. Nasser Al-Attiyah is another man gaining time in the seat, and the gravel roads here in Mexico suit the Qatari's driving style perfectly. The multiple Middle Eastern champion alongside Italian co-driver Giovanni Bernardini well on their way to a very creditable 6th place and on their gravel debut in the DS3.
50, left 170, caution slowing, right wing, very dangerous, into left.
Here comes Petter Solberg, and the Norwegian is now up to 3rd after his teammate Latvala's retirement. An understandably tentative jump over the crest that caught him out last year. He has no need to push though. Petter can't catch the Citroën ahead of him. His strategy is to save those Michelin tyres and go for the win in the power stage. But here comes a man who will try and stop that happening. Sebastian Loeb on course to take his 6th consecutive victory in Mexico, and what a triumph it would be if he can do the double and take the extra 3 points that come with winning that power stage. For now though, the world champion safely through Derramadero. Running further down the order comes local driver Ricardo Trevino in his Fiesta RS WRC. With Latvala out, he creeps into the final point-scoring position. All that remains in this year's action-packed Rally Guanajuato, Mexico is a shootout through the VW Power Stage. As ever, bonus points on offer for the top 3 finishers. Oitanak blasts off into the stage. This man is an undoubted star of the future. It's the Estonian's first time here in Mexico in a WRC car, and he has done a fantastic job. On his way to an impressive 5th place and an incredible view from above the flat-out sweeping bends of the power stage. Let's watch Oit over El Brinco. Wow, that is quite some leap from the Estonian. Mads Osberg has been caution personified for much of the last day and a half, but with his 4th place now all but secure, the Adapter team driver is risking a late charge here in a bid to score more points. He's absolutely on it in the power stage. Really good commitment from the young Norwegian considering what's at stake. Mats and co-driver Jonas Andersen go quickest through so far.
Yeah, okay, it's been a good weekend. We have learned a lot. We have managed to try many different things with the car, and I think it's definitely been good experience. And now coming back the next year, we can push a lot harder than we have done now.
Petter Solberg actually led this event after the first stage. It must seem like a long time ago now after what's been a roller coaster of a weekend for the Ford man. Having clawed his way back into the podium places following his teammates' late error, the power stage presents Petter with an opportunity to add to his tally of points for the weekend. And in typical Solberg fashion, he is really attacking. Pace notes rattled off by Chris Patterson as Petter powers his way through the last few corners. But how will he compare with his compatriot Osberg, who still holds the benchmark at the moment? Into the flying finish now.
30, keep her right over long press, 30. Okay.
Yes, he's 1.2 seconds quicker.
That was fantastic. I really pushed hard, I tell you. But I lost in one corner. I came so far, I came far too fast.
Mikko Hirvonen is next up, and the Finn has a really good record on the power stages. He may not have been able to live with the pace of Loeb, but this has been an impressive display on his first gravel outing in the DS3. Hirvonen can only manage the 4th fastest time so far in the power stage, though.
It's been a very solid drive, and you know, in the start of the rally, the pace was very good as well, so you know, have to be happy. 1st and 2nd place for Citroën, so you know, very good for the team.
And there is still the rally leader to come. Having safely negotiated the potential banana skin of stage 22, Loeb can focus on keeping the car in the middle of the road. As is often the case with this supremely talented driver, though, he finds his best rhythm when pushing, and ever the competitor, he is giving it a go in the power stage. Still changing his pace notes as he goes along as well. But can he beat Petter into the flying finish? Don't think he's going to do it. No, not quite. 1.4 seconds slower, but that's 2nd place in the power stage to go with his 6th consecutive Mexico win. Confirmation there of Solberg's power stage victory, and that's also Mads Osberg's 1st ever power stage points. For Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Elena, though, their winning run in Mexico just goes on and on. It's also their 2nd victory out of 3 in 2012. Congratulations for Mikko Hirvonen, and that is their first 1-2 finish as teammates. So Sebastian Loeb makes it 6 out of 6. His final winning margin over Mikko, 42.4 seconds. A great result for Petter Solberg in 3rd, with Mats Osberg in 4th, and Oit Tanak rounding out the top 5, while Ken Block and local man Ricardo Trevino close out the top 10 scoring positions. Well, Sebastian Loeb adds another record to his tally, 6 consecutive wins in Rally Mexico. The party has started back in the service park. Join us after the break for all the reaction. Welcome back to Rally Guanajuato, Mexico. What a final day we've had here. Sebastian Loeb is our winner, and the victor returns to the applause of his Citroën team and the local fans in the Leon Poloforum service park.
Sebastian, congratulations. 6 wins in a row here in Mexico.
Yeah, 6 wins in a row, so it's a bit incredible. It's really a rally where I have a lot of success, and I enjoyed this rally. It's never easy to win here for me. It's always some good battles. It was a hard fight with Mikko at the start of the rally. Finally, we are here with 1 and 2, so that's a very good result for Citroën and for the team. So I'm really happy for that.
And also a nice feeling after the disappointment in Sweden.
Yes, a nice feeling after Sweden. It looks a bit like every year. Good results in Monte Carlo, bad result in Sweden, again a good result in Mexico. So I hope the rest of the season will be in the same ways than usually.
Yes, it's a great rally for us. Sebastian winning, Mikko second. It's very important for the championship, but also very important for the future. We say that we can fight for the victory with both drivers, and that's important.
Mikko, congratulations on second and another strong finish.
Yeah, we are quite solid, second again, and it was very good result for the team this weekend, like first and second for Citroën, and that's why we came here for. Try to, extend our lead in the Manufacturers' Championship and fight for the win of the rally, and we did. So everybody are very happy with this.
It's been a good weekend for Petter Solberg too. He claimed the final podium position for Ford and the Power Stage win.
Petter, not a bad weekend's work. Third on the podium and 3 bonus points.
Yeah, the speed have been very good, and we have had 4 punctures and a little bit brake problem, and that's it. But everything else, when it's been okay, we have been, in the top most of the times, And I feel great, but of course a little bit disappointed for what happened to me and Jari through the rally, and then especially now what happened to Jari now at the end. It's.
There's always Citroën to think about, but you've had a great start to the season.
Yeah, but the car is fantastic. It's very fast, and they have done some really good improvements, the guys with the car before this rally. So, I think, maybe we don't have to push so hard so early from the rally, and maybe just wait a little bit, because the car is fast enough.
Team boss Malcolm Wilson can see positives from a difficult weekend.
There's no question that's the real positive for us, knowing that we've got 5 gravel rallies on the trot, and to be, the quickest combination here, Jari and the Fiesta, then for sure that's a positive to go away with. But it doesn't look as encouraging at the moment, just because of obviously what's happened on this final day. But there's no question the combination of Jari and the car was really good here. We know we've got some things coming as well, which hopefully will give us a little bit more performance. But I think to be able to go away from here with the pace that we showed, then we're encouraged for the next event.
So this is how the Drivers' Championship stacks up after round 3. With 2 wins out of 3, Sebastian Loeb is now up to 66 points, 16 ahead of his Citroën teammate Mikko Hirvonen. Petter Solberg is the man leading the Ford charge on 47 points. Mads Osberg is up to 4th, relegating the non-scoring Jari-Matti Latvala down to 5th. In the Manufacturers' Championship, Citroën extend their total to 108 points over the Works Ford team, who are now on 70. The M Sport team lie 3rd on 38 points. Next up in the WRC, powered by Nokia, is a return to Europe and the undulating gravel stages of the Vodafone Rally to Portugal. Always an eventful round. The Algarve-based event is in 3 weeks' time. Loeb will be full of confidence there following another dominant success in Mexico. Sebastian and co-driver Daniel Elena becoming rather familiar with the taste of Mexican champagne. Rally Mexico never fails to entertain. Some conquered the mountain passes, others were not so fortunate. Sebastian Loeb adds another record to his tally, and the gauntlet has been thrown down. He is the man to beat again in 2012. Join us in Portugal to see if Ford can fight back. But for now, from Mexico, it's goodbye.
we suffered with the problem today when I hit the bedrock and I broke the wheel, and that's why basically it was running out of air from the tire. But we did 25 kilometers, and we have to say the Michelin tire is fantastic. Driving 25 kilometers and losing 50 seconds, so for me it's impressive.
It was good. It was a good battle with Mikko, and finally we could increase a bit our lead. So now we are a bit more in a comfortable situation. The stages were good. It was a perfect day for us.